This is a message to UK, Australia, United States, and Canada. I don't give a fuck who pays pay safeguards for 50 to 200 euro, but contact me on my fucking phone on WhatsApp Signal or Messenger, or send me a fucking link for an app that you think is less hacked. I am not trained ionic. I didn't have your fucking basic training. I was hired for special talent, and because I knew how they worked, I can advise. I do. When I get redirected over the UK to the embassy of Den Haag, and I have a phone call with Helen for an hour and 20 minutes, and I explain her clearly, when she says, I'm going to do everything in my possible way to help you back to the UK, and I say, I have a witness, I have evidence, I got these diamonds, I got this passport, and I come here and she already attacked a mitaki in her neck, or a miyagi in her neck, with two other consular workers, and I end up in a fucking spot like this. No diplomatic house, no nothing, no nothing. I've been surviving in France for 2 fucking years after they forced me out, coerced, of a diplomatic work apartment that was asked by Tina Mendicini, January 7, and play ball to Selena and Dom. That dude is assassinated. That apartment has been paid till August. A boat that should be sent over the UN, I get video solutions from, over a stolen Spickle cell when it was sailing to Geneva. To be prepared with Kevlar, a regular laptop, Bose speakers, and fucking extra tents that I wanted to donate to migrants who didn't have a tent, because it was fucking really hard to have a tent. And that boat gets stolen because the night that the boat arrived, Olivia was attacked in her own fucking apartment and kidnapped. Now look, we have an attack, and an attack, and an attack, and an attack, and I always see spotters and people every time I get your fucked up ionic messages of 6 days before you get help, this before you this before you this. Me and Fabiana be WhatsApped. We started on an app called Star Maker, Fabriella. We started talking there. I send her the pictures of the shooting in Antwerp when they fucking shot my ass after the Heerspardoel concert, straight to her, and I said, honey, I had something going on. I took pictures of it. We were literally forced away from the tram at that moment, and there was 5 shots in a row. They would have had 5, and the first one should have been in the fucking back of my head and didn't penetrate the window because it was in a street not even wider than 5 meters, or what is it, 6 foot, 12 foot, yeah, something 12 foot, not even 20 foot. So from a parked car they shot with a little machine gun that didn't even penetrate the fucking window. There was hard-tempered glass in a new fucking tram. I had 2 choices that night. I had a old tram going in the direction of where I was supposed to go, or I wanted to go to Astridplan and in Antwerp and then take the tram at my house. That would be a transfer. So I took that one because I had to wait for over half an hour on the other one. I had access for free to that building, and I always asked that guy Peter Dobbels if I could go watch the show. So they gave me a little bracelet that said that I worked there. That's how I watched these shows, because I have been working there for many years and I had no clue of what these fuckers were doing. So the fact that they already intimidated me, I knew they were no good. But Peter was not bad. So with those people I stayed in contact. Get my eyes out. Now, when Fabiana and I WhatsApped, she also checked me over my Samsung TV in my bedroom. She was literally scared that something was gonna happen, and she was threatened that way, you better do this or it's gonna be hurt, la la la. But it the fucking same on Cheryl and Jessica in fucking Calais. You better do this or your hubby will die. Now, if you get fucking threats like that, don't give a fuck about that. Because if they wanna attack me, they come anyway. I fought my ass off in Calais. I fought my ass off in Finland. Now, why do you give them so fucking much time to attack further when you know now that all your fucking presidential and everything is hacked? But that was already going on in 2021 after the fucking phone call with Biden and Kamala. A presidential line that reset. That button now is used, duct taped on kids' hands to fucking overpower and brute force your Bank of America and the Bank of UK. That over the fucking cut-off heads with the chips drilled in, not sedated, in kids and other like they did on the Fabiana, to use as a fucking power field by glowing and overpowering those fucking skulls. Meanwhile, plant another ID on it, and they use it on their skull to so-called ID swap. That is how these motherfuckers think that I'm a don. But Cheryl also swapped identity. She, I saw footage, had a jammer on her head. Had to run to the corner where I slept next to restaurant Kabul and then suck dick. That whole corner had military laptops. I did nothing else than fucking destroy every fucking night before I went to sleep. Ping it, destroy it. Did it reboot? Don't give a fuck. What I saw, that was replaced by a fucking SUV from CRS, Police National. 4 guys, always in the building. Replacing laptops. Come on, man. Now, I don't give a fuck. I have no access to bank account, and now the UK bank is blocked again. Bank account, credit card, passport, my military documents. Look how mine look like, bro. We have no shower, no sauna. We have an open air toilet. We sleep in a tent. What the fuck do you think I am? Do you think I'm a fucking dog? Because you literally violate our basic rights. Muriel is a witness. She saw shit happen there. Yeah. So, how fucking difficult is this? When I asked Fabiana to help me out with cash, she used the Nordea bank to my KBC, and I helped her out from my KBC to her Nordea bank for a new phone. Then we also used MoneyWire, because that was the closest that was there in her area in Tikurila, around on a tobacco shop. So when Elias was there, I sent her MoneyWire. 50 euros, which was 45 euros, that's the rest, and I tried to do 55, so she had literally 50 euros to spoil Elias. Now, that was with a valid fucking ID card. This ID card and driver's license I had was from after the fucking win of the Human Rights Court, as they stole my shit already, and I had to ask a renewing Kortenbrich. I won 100 million. That became 150 million. Now that ID card and driver's license I asked back then, right there, is stolen and stolen in Caroline in the United States, but abused in fucking France, in combination with my passport they needed, the so-called arrested, and that with the drop passport of the United States that Tina herself went dropping with Michelle in fucking Brussels. And they hoped that a copy of the passport would do to get access to my bank in the UK, in the US, and that didn't work. Because they came as attorney, or they came as caretaker, claiming I was incontinent. I ain't. That was just a trick by a fucking mental cow who went 4 sessions in a fucking mental hospital in Betania because she couldn't handle the fact that I just asked, can you go for help? Because that was a fucking cow on steroids and protein. The attack of the knife and others said enough. If you have to fucking defend yourself against a fucking female of 90 kilograms, that's about, 200 pounds, that storms to you in any way and throws whatever she gets in her hand, from glass to ashtrays to dogs to kids, and storms with a knife, standing with the phone in the fucking hall the moment you open the door and not even 2 feet in. And then she says, call the police. Well, she called it herself. She said, abuse. And then she storms to me with a shift of 30 centimeters, or what is it? How many inches? What is it? 6, 10 inches, 15 inches. She wanted to plant that in my chest, and I got it by hair, pulled it down, put my knee in the neck, kicked the knife away, and I said, what the fuck are you doing? After a phone call, can you come talk, but don't hit me, huh? Can you talk, but don't hit me? I said, who the fuck is with you? You know I don't hit you. But the fact that she pimped out an NSA bitch, and Alexander too, and sold drugs, said enough, right? Now, that was a so-called crown witness. And why did she call herself Jane of NSA? A so-called Jessica Doolittle. And why did Jessica Doolittle have to say that she was married to me? Because I never saw that bitch before. Yeah, one time in Kiravisky when she was 17 or something like that. And one time in a house in Mortsel. In a little different situation. As a pay girl. So, but then we have the DNA sample of the Secret Service, of course, and the NSA, which you think is normal. Then don't come and fuck sell your ass or pussy in fucking Europe. because prostitution is legal here in the United States now. Then you do the wrong investigation, especially in the wrong way, I can tell you that. But your politicians didn't complain, right? Because they got sucked dick too, right? And sold a lot of guns from the United States, from bases. Also in articles, all of a sudden that started disappearing and sold. Where was it sold? Mechelen? Brussels? Antwerp? Who sucked dick for that? June, Salina to start, Ariana, Athena maybe, all the cop stations. She was not afraid to do 45, 50 in one time. Now, I don't give a fuck who pays my pay safe cards because we need food. I want to have some tobacco and I want to buy a fucking caravan because it gets autumn and cold. I ain't gonna spend another fucking winter in a tent. You can understand that, right? And they may call me a bum, but now you're gonna show me fucking respect. Literally. I have my cash in the UK and I have no access because of no passport and I cannot pay anything online, and you have the ability to fucking send me a message on my fucking phone number 0044 7366187 with a 16 fucking digit pin so I can go to the supermarket, cash that fucking pay safe card and finally buy some decent food like a steak or whatsoever and maybe buy a caravan. As long as I don't get an apartment. Because you're not so fast to give it, right? Should take 19 days, please. Now, if you really want to help, because I already heard the story, oh, you got so much cash now, you got too much power. Well, yeah, oh yeah, look at the power I got. And look at the power you give, because you don't give shit. You don't care, you don't do shit. I don't eat blah, blah, blah ionic, because they blah, blah, blah ionic to everybody and say that I'm a liar. Or say that I'm a fraud, and they yell my old name, Dave Mervis, blah, 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 blah. Well, no, it's Axel Mervis. And all fucking legal. But when you get threats and they want to broadcast your ass and titties, like from Kamala, I can understand, I saw it. I saw Cheryl too. I saw Scarlett and Beyonce too. Hell yeah. Looking good, right? After being beaten up with a deep fake on. But I saw the original, looked a bit different. Also on you, Kamala. Also on the wife of Biden, Also on the daughter of Biden, The deepfake filter, that does a lot, A nice smiling photo, so the eyes are nicely shiny. Yeah. They broadcast that shit, I don't do that. But they attack me too, remember that. I got 3 hardwares, and a 4th one here. A 5th one is in the septic tank of Calais. I get clinched on. I don't have connectors. All your females had trackers. Linda and Sally found one. Both signed up, I don't know where. 2 girls from Florida that didn't have one. How long would it take before they had one when they arrive in a fucking base? And that's immediately visible, because that's what they track for, right? So your OnlyFans is doing booming business here in Europe, ain't it? Or chatterbait, like they did on Mia Halligan. I saw that too. Now, they didn't look too happy, right? But then drugs and cocaine helped. Especially to put in a car and act like she happy. That's how I found Samantha Valdrini, Now, that girl I met for the first time in a hospital here in OVG, Holland. And she was the one that said, you got something here. You're calm, you're sane, but it's hard to remove. Because my kids had 2 monitors and I didn't know that. So instead of not telling shit or not answering and knowing that I ain't trained and I don't take hints, your routine's gonna kill you. I ask you to work differently. They're gonna track you or monitor you anyway. Throw the telephone away then, smash it. Because the moment we had a WhatsApp, but you sent me a pin, do we after that have to have the same phone number when I get another digit from you? And Fabiana also had an app. I never had an app. I also didn't know what the app was. I knew it was with little men like MSN, looked a bit like that. Now, she talked from the toilet over that app. I once opened the toilet and saw her send a message, and she looked at me with hurt eyes like, and I was like, yeah, okay. Then she started WhatsApping from the shower all the time. She was going to take a shower. Before she sent me a picture, want to go in the shower with me? I ain't here to be pulled left to the right and you hope that I would break, because I ain't gonna. But I sure as hell ain't gonna be planted or put next to side after a phone call of the Queen, who really was on top, and the Kate who gave me a apartment that they put a victim in that don't listen, and she gets kidnapped. Then withdraws cash from my bank, and I have 2 bank accounts in the UK. Then a Hartford matter that gets offered by Kate Middleton, and I said I can pay it myself, and I gave it back. That's a curse. Literally. Cash and that is curse. They think they, especially over Ionic. Please believe me. WhatsApp me when you say that. Then at least you have my phone number. Who's in between my phone number and you? Now, who's in between Ionic and you? Calculate. What's the best? Peace out. Axway.